All right, if you're a senior architect, you already know this. Moving to the cloud isn't just a tech task, it's a huge strategic call. Today, we're going to get past the simple lift and shift and really dig into how you build a cloud presence that's actually built to last. Every single cloud project really boils down to this one question. You've got the business breathing down your neck, right? They want out of the data center, they want it done yesterday, and they want it cheap. But at the same time, you're the one who knows that the choices you make right now are going to define your architecture, and let's be honest, your late-night troubleshooting sessions for years. So what's it going to be? A quick win, or are we building a real foundation for the future? Okay, so to answer that, we have to get super clear on the two main paths you can take. We're talking about rehosting versus replatforming. Yeah, they sound kind of similar, but trust me, where they lead you in the long run, they're worlds apart. So first up, we've got rehost. This is what everybody calls lift and shift. The easiest way to think about it is like moving to a new house. You're just taking all of your old furniture exactly as it is and cramming it into a new pre-built house. It's fast, sure, everything's there, but nothing really fits, Your old couch is blocking a window, the bed is a weird fit in the new bedroom. It works technically, but it's just not right. Now let's compare that to replatforming, or what some people call lift and reshape. Let's stick with that moving house analogy. This is like deciding, you know what, I'm going to buy new furniture that's made for this new house. You get a sectional that fits that living room perfectly, maybe some custom shelves for the office. Now, does it take more time and a bit more effort up front? Absolutely. But the result is a space that is so much more efficient, so much more enjoyable to actually live in. You're not just moving anymore, you are actively upgrading. Okay, enough with the analogies. Let's make this real. We're going to walk through a concrete example, a scenario that I bet a lot of you have seen before. It really highlights the difference between these two choices. So here's where we start. A classic, old-school legacy app. It's a monolith. The whole thing runs on one single virtual machine. The application code, the database, it's all just bundled together, super tightly coupled. It's stable, sure, everyone knows how it works, but it is completely inflexible, and it's costing a fortune to keep running in that data center. And here are the two possible futures for our app. Take a look at the left, the rehost path. It's a dead simple one-to-one mapping. The VM just becomes an EC2 instance in AWS. That's literally it. The database is still sitting right there on that same instance. But now, look to the right at the replatform path. See what we did? We've pulled the pieces apart. The application code is now sitting in an auto-scaling group, which means it can scale up or down with traffic automatically. And the database? We've moved it to a managed service like RDS. Just by doing that, we immediately get way better reliability, automated backups, and scalability. It's a completely different world. So this is the really critical part, understanding the trade-offs. The technical differences are pretty clear, but it's the strategic and business implications that you as the architect have to wrestle with. This right here is the heart of the whole decision. When you look at this scorecard, the dilemma just jumps right out at you. Rehost wins, hands down, on speed and low upfront effort. And hey, it's less risky in the short term because you're changing almost nothing. But look at the flip side. Your long-term operational costs are going to be higher, and your potential to optimize anything later, it's basically zero. Replatforming is the complete opposite. It's slower, yeah, it costs more upfront, and there's a little more risk because you're actually changing the architecture. But the payoff? Lower costs forever, and a massive potential for future growth and optimization. And let's be real, you cannot underestimate the siren song of speed. When we say rehost is faster, we're not talking about a few days. We're talking about a whole different scale. A project that might take a few weeks to lift and shift could take months to replatform the right way. So when your CIO says, we need to be out of the data center by the end of the quarter, well, this chart pretty much explains why rehost gets chosen so often. But this brings us to probably the single most important warning I can give you. We have to talk about the hidden cost of all that speed. It's a trap, and I call it being lifted and stuck. I think this quote from a fellow architect, man, I think it's going to hit home for a lot of you. It captures that slow dawning horror you feel a year after the big migration party. You did it, you moved to the cloud, but all you really did was move your old, expensive problems into a new, even more expensive apartment. You're not using any of the cloud's real benefits, and all the momentum and budget to go back and fix it has just vanished. So how does this even happen? Well, it's a depressingly predictable cycle. Step 1, you nail the fast rehost to hit that crazy deadline. Step 2, champagne corks pop. Mission accomplished. The project goes green on the company dashboard. Step 3, the entire organization moves on. The budget, the attention, it all immediately pivots to the next big, shiny project. And that leaves your newly migrated, but totally unoptimized application just sitting there in the cloud, quietly racking up technical debt and higher bills.
So, how on earth do we avoid this trap? Well, it's not about being a purist and saying, we must never rehost. It's about being a strategist. It's about playing the long game with what I call an evolutionary approach.
And this is the absolute key to the whole thing. Rehosting can be an amazing tactic. It can be a perfectly valid strategic first move to hit an urgent goal, like getting out of a data center lease. The mistake isn't doing the rehost. The mistake is stopping there.
So, here's the playbook. It's a three-phase strategy. Phase 1, go ahead, use the speed of rehost to get out of the data center. Get that quick win, check that box. But, and this is absolutely critical, you immediately move to phase 2, plan. Before that first project is even officially closed, you have to get the budget approved and the optimization work scheduled. You do not declare victory yet. The victory isn't the move, the victory is the completed evolution. Then, and only then, you can enter phase 3, evolve. Now you use all the rich data you're getting from the cloud to improve things piece by piece. Maybe you move the database first, then maybe you containerize one of the services. It becomes a continuous process of improvement, not just a one-and-done project. So I'll leave you with this question to think about for your next migration project. Don't just think about the tech. Think bigger. Think about the strategy. Are you just putting a temporary Band-Aid on a problem? Or are you actually architecting the very first step in your company's real evolution in the cloud? The choice and the opportunity is all yours. Thanks for tuning in.